How you guys doing? And yes, it's the video I've been waiting for. The results for Scipio versus TRIBHUWANA on the channel from the testing we have finally done, because we did test Scipio at 1 stars and 3 stars against a TRIBHUWANA at 3 stars. Because as many people should know, if you've been checking out all of the content from obviously all the Age of Empires mobile content creators out there, big shout out to Timmy, who was able to obviously do the 5-star testing, which obviously showcases Scipio, the 5-star hero, is the way to go right now. But many people are wondering, maybe at 1 stars or 3 stars, what is the jazz? So we're going to be taking a look at that from today's perspective. So smash that comment and subscribe, and let's get into it. So firstly, what we've got to get into is honestly a little bit of a hard truth, because we did do a little bit of a mess up during the actual testing. However, it honestly didn't skew the results and anything. It just showcases how good Scipio really is, right? Because what we was able to do, if you're thinking about this lineup, is later on, basically, we tested TRIBHUWANA 3 stars with gear on, right? As well as the 1-star Scipio with gear on, but for some reason, I don't know why, but I've completely forgot to put the gear on Scipio at 3 stars, right? So it did skew technically the amount of damage being able to be dealt, and obviously, as well as the random chances of his signature skill going off, obviously does make, obviously, part of the jazz too. However, it didn't actually affect the overall results and how much better and how much effective this hero is. And if you guys are wondering what we was able to do, if you want to wonder the test differences, if we go down here and just pull out the good old TRIBHUWANA, this was the build we were running. So this is King's Blade and Righteous Judgment. We also did try Fortification, but it just wasn't nowhere near as good as these two. And we thought, you know what, we are going to be running double legendary skills on both heroes, so let's be fair and run them as they would. So TRIBHUWANA, when it comes into things, didn't do too bad, and you'll see why she didn't do too bad. But Scipio, if you didn't know, just because of this one skill in conjunction to this African quest, is honestly so goddamn good. It kind of showcases in the results. So if we go back and kind of bring up the obviously troop power, mine's only 7.1 million obviously of this testing. However, what we did do, as you guys know, with our good old trusty friend the notepad, we did a bunch of testing through the supply bounty, as you can see. And the only issue I wasn't able to do, and I am a bit sad, is because I did kill, as you guys will know, the level 155 solo kinda chieftain from the exploration. So I wasn't able to test the 1v1s, but we was able to test the swarm comparison. So when you look at this, basically for many people, this is a 3-star TRIBHUWANA. She's dealing 1.5 million damage here, and this is like the range is 99,000 at the lowest, while the highest was over 228k, right? The median versus the average, we're at a positive, which is 6.14%, which is really good, because this is obviously 3-star TRIBHUWANA. And when you compare that to just below the 1-star Scipio, as you can imagine, it's going to be lower, right? 1-star Scipio, as many people comments, even in the Zhao Yun video, is going to have less might for one, and at the same time, his skill isn't as powered as it should be, right? Which is 100% true. But what's really scary is even with a 1-star Scipio, you are doing 1.2 million, and the numbers are very close to being 71.2k being the lower end, and 186k there on the higher end. And the difference between these is literally only 4%. So 4% difference between these actual medians, showcasing even if you did put a 1-star Scipio on, yes, TRIBHUWANA right now at 3 stars would be performing better. But it's not performing that much better that, you know what, you're gonna lose sleep over it. And I think if you're a low spender and even a medium spender, and you've been considering benching that 3-star TRIBHUWANA for maybe a 1-star Scipio or a 3-star, you should have your answer by the end of this video, because 3-star Scipio tests changed everything. And what you'll notice, and this is what's really crazy, is obviously we did way less damage. 1 million damage. But as I kind of stated earlier, and this is what someone shouted out, and a big shout out to, I forgot who it was in chat, it was one of the big supporters, you know who you are. They mentioned your Scipio didn't have a ring, and you didn't even have gear on your Scipio. So the amount of damage that you were doing in total would be lower. However, even at a lower total, 1 million to be exact, right? We still did, on the low end, 35k, not bad. It's kind of terrible, right, this? But you can imagine, with gear on, with rings on, we're going to be hitting similar numbers to how this was, for example. But the differential was still a plus 8.92%. The average was over basically 100k damage, while the expected median was only 92k. So we was performing way better on turn than what the game basically expects you to hit if you had the highest, the lowest, and you put it in the middle, and that was what the median were for all the results, right? So kind of crazy when you think about how much better 3-star Scipio really is compared to the 1-star and the 2-star, 3-star, I should say, TRIBHUWANA. It's 6.1% here, and you get 8.92, nearly 9% on there. And that was with a bad Scipio setup, guys. A bad Scipio setup. And I have to hold my hand up and admit it, right? Because I fucked up on that. But it was the fact that it was still performing better, that everyone in the stream said you should still use it for the video, because it is actually wild how good Scipio is. And when you 5-star a hero even, it's even more insane, guys. So definitely one of the best heroes, if not, I reckon, #1 hero out of these season heroes that we've got, out of Zalian, Alpazlan, Daniel, and William. Scipio, for me, takes the crown of the best hero of this season by a landslide. And it's really upsetting, because you could see even here when we did these 1v1s, we didn't able to do the 3-stars because it was at level 155, and I can show you what we're at right now. So it wouldn't be the same, because it wouldn't be the same amount of troops or the same unit that we were fighting against, which is a bit upsetting. But you could see minus 2.59%, we kind of went a bit below average. So basically you could call unlucky in some cases for our crits not going off with the Scipio, but this was at 1-star Scipio, right? Compared to the 3-star TRIBHUWANA here, which just only underperformed the medium. It was so goddamn close how, you can see it literally. It's 370 damage between them, and that is crazy how much of a difference it is. So we wasn't able to test, unfortunately, and we can showcase this in game so you can see what we're talking about, that guy. Because right now, if you go to kill him, because obviously you got to keep killing him for the universal medals, as you guys know, he's at 162, and it is on swordsman. It's 381k of the swordsman, so we could really get a good idea. But maybe I have to redo the singleton test against 3-star and 3-star TRIBHUWANA versus Scipio, and maybe if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below, because obviously from all of the testing we was able to do, these are obviously from mainly the supply bounty, which was the best way of doing all of these. And obviously we did this all on the live stream, so you can check out all of the live stream testings that we've been doing that over obviously the Christmas period and the New Year period. At the time we were doing a bunch of stuff, so yeah, very, very interesting. So if you guys are ever wondering or have the question what you should do with your warrior swordsman, it's quite simple, right? If you really want to mid-max, you want to keep using your 3-star TRIBHUWANA for now, right? You just do. You just want to use that 3-star TRIBHUWANA for now. However, as soon as you get a 3-star Scipio, you can just replace these two heroes. Just replace them and do not look back, because you are going to get a benefit out of it. And especially if you are a warrior swordsman main, you're going to have better rings, like for example Skyward Knight or Divine Warrior, and those two rings on their own will make your swordsman match work even better than how mine was working, for example. So it really will emphasize how much better Scipio is over TRIBHUWANA. And again, big shout out to Timmy if you guys haven't checked his video out, because even his results state 5-star Scipio is the #1 pick right now. And just to kind of put a bit more love in the Scipio camp, if you guys didn't know, he's so good right now. Even the man, the myth, the legend, Ramsey's swordsman with Scipio and Zhu Liang is absolutely killing it out there in the open field. So if you want to know if Scipio is worth it, is he actually a good hero from the game right now, if you're a swordsman player, I'm going to tell you yes. I think every single person in the community is going to tell you yes. And if you are a swordsman hero or main, definitely 5-star this hero, because when you unlock that reduction in the amount of triggers you need and you start popping off even more damage even quicker, you're gonna start laughing. Honestly, you're gonna start laughing. So Scipio Africanus testing, my kind of review there overall from live streams. Definitely a must pick up if you are a warrior swordsman. And yeah, wow, what a hero, guys. Absolutely loved it. This is the one hero I'm so happy was actually good, and I think many of you guys will agree on that, from history lovers and even older game lovers like Rise of Kingdoms who have Scipio as well in there. So until the next video, guys, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the creator link down in the description down below too for Eneba. And when they've got stocks up, if you purchase anything through my link, obviously you support the channel too. So thank you very much. And welcome to the new year, 2026. Loads of content, all different types, and it's going to be a banger. So until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.